The final 2 seconds before you reach to pet your dog can shape the next 2 years of how safe they feel around human hands. In that tiny window, most dog owners accidentally turn an ordinary cuddle into a fear rehearsal. Seconds before you reach to pet, your dog must decide if your hand means comfort or control. You move in, your dog goes still, the eyes look wider, the mouth closes, and the breathing gets shallow. You think you are being gentle, but your dog does not understand affection the way you do. The dog reads a hand reaching as pressure and prediction, like something that happens to them, not with them. The freeze is part of the fight-flight-freeze sequence, and it is not consent. Veterinary behaviorists and canine body language educators like Dr. Sophia Yin taught that stillness can be a stress signal, especially when it appears with tight muscles and hard eyes. You can picture what happens when you keep petting anyway. Your dog learns that moving away does not work, so stillness becomes the only safe option. By the time you notice the snap, your dog has been practicing silence for weeks. The golden rule of petting is this: your hand must be an invitation, not a capture. You can hack this system by stopping your hand midair, turning your body sideways, softening your gaze, and waiting. If your dog moves toward you, you continue. If your dog stays frozen, you back off. Once you treat the freeze as information, you can start spotting the smaller signals that come before it. You already know the freeze is a late-stage signal, not a peaceful moment. Now you catch the early-stage signals, when your dog is still trying to be polite. Point 1. You see a head turn away and think your dog is being shy, but your dog does not understand your intent. Your dog is creating space without leaving. Point 2. You see whale eye or a widened eye and think your dog is just watching you. Your dog is tracking your hand while trying not to escalate. Point 3. You see a lip lick with no food and think it is cute. Your dog is discharging stress and asking for a pause. Point 4. You see a yawn and think your dog is sleepy. Your dog is using a calming signal because the situation feels too intense. Point 5. You see a mouth that suddenly tightens and think your dog is focusing. Your dog is bracing, and the body is preparing for what comes next. Point 6. You see ears pinned or rapidly shifting and think your dog is listening. Your dog is scanning for safety and escape routes. Point 7. You see a paw lift or a weight shift backward and think your dog is unsure. Your dog is rehearsing retreat without committing to it. Point 8. You see a tail low or tucked, or sometimes high and stiff, and think tail equals mood. Your dog is signaling arousal, and arousal is not the same as happiness. Point 9. You see a shake off after contact and think your dog is resetting. Your dog is literally shaking off tension from your touch. Canine body language resources and veterinary behavior guidance describe many of these as displacement or stress signals. You think you are reassuring, but your dog does not understand reassurance. Your dog reads predictability and control. By the time you notice the freeze, your dog has already tried 3 quieter ways to say not right now. Your self-check is simple. If you see any 2 of these signals together, treat it as a yellow light. You stop reaching, you give space, and you switch to consent-based contact. Now that you can see the signals, you need to understand the common human moves that trigger them. You can spot the signals, so now you remove the triggers that create them. Most fear around hands is not about your dog being dramatic. It is about your mechanics. First mistake, you reach over the head. Your shoulders loom, your hand drops like a lid, and your dog feels covered. You think you are going in for love, but your dog experiences a loss of control. Second mistake, you move fast and directly. A straight-line hand is efficient for you, but it is intense for your dog. By the time you touch, your dog has already flinched internally. Third mistake, you trap your dog with your body, especially on furniture or in a corner. The escape route's close, and the nervous system chooses freeze because flight is not available. Applied animal behavior work and veterinary behaviorists emphasize choice and control as fear reducers, and that is the concept that changes everything. Your dog does not need you to be nicer. Your dog needs you to be optional. You can picture the pattern your dog learns. Hands predict collar grabs, nail trims, being moved, or being held still. Even if you mean well, your dog starts treating every reach like a surprise inspection. To fix this, you approach from the side, not from above. You pet the chest or shoulder, not the top of the head. You keep your hand low and slow, and you pause every few seconds so your dog can opt back in. Once your mechanics are safer, you can install a simple routine that teaches your dog what your hand means. You removed the scary reach, so now you build a predictable system your dog can trust. You do not guess. You ask, and you listen. You start with an invitation hand, palm open, low, and still. Seconds before you touch, your dog must choose to approach, not endure. Then you do a 1-second touch on a safe zone, like the chest or side. You keep it boring on purpose, because boring is safe. Then you stop and observe. You can hack this system by making stopping the reward. Your dog learns that communication ends pressure. A yes looks like leaning in, soft eyes, a loose body, and returning to you after you stop. A no looks like turning away, stepping back, lip licking, freezing, or getting suddenly still. Cooperative care and choice-based handling principles are supported by behavior professionals because they reduce stress and defensive reactions. You think you are teaching tolerance by pushing through, but your dog does not learn tolerance. Your dog learns that signals do not work. If every touch ends when your dog asks, your dog stops needing to freeze to be heard. If your dog approaches and then freezes, you shorten the session and lower the intensity. You touch once, you stop sooner, and you let your dog reset. Consent is the foundation, but you also need to remove the hidden context cues that make your dog brace before you even move your hand. You now see the full arc. The freeze is information, the signals come earlier, your reach mechanics matter, and consent builds trust. Your today fixes are simple. You pet only when your dog is already relaxed, not eating, not sleeping, and not guarding a spot. You avoid surprise touches from behind. You let your dog approach first, and you keep touch brief. The moment you see 2 stress signals, you must stop. By the time you push through, you have taught your dog that signals do not work. Veterinary behaviorists also warn that sudden changes, pain, or escalating aggression should trigger a medical check. You can picture ear pain or neck soreness turning touch into predicted discomfort, not attitude. Your escalation path is clear. You rule out pain with your vet, then you work with a qualified force-free trainer or a veterinary behaviorist. Your goal is not to pet more. Your goal is to make hands predictable and optional. If this changed the way you view petting your dog, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. We don't do generic advice here. We translate behavior science into simple routines you can use today. Let me know in the comments which signal your dog shows most often before they freeze. Until next time, keep your hands predictable and your dog in control.